he creates has to be a lesser being. But evidently Lucifer was the best that God could possibly do. Perfect in wisdom and beauty. What about his location? Verse 13, you were in Eden. Not the Garden of Eden with its vegetation, but this is a mineral Eden with all kinds of beautiful stones. Every precious stone was your covering, every ruby, the topaz, the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, the jasper. All of these beautiful accompaniments were given to Lucifer. I want you to notice his responsibility in verse 14. You were the anointed cherub who covers. Some translations say you are the cherub who spreads out his wings. Reminds us of the ark, doesn't it? Do you realize that Lucifer had some very interesting priestly duties? I happen to think that his assignment was planet Earth. I know that Milton has told us that Satan was tossed out of heaven, and that's true. But he was tossed out of heaven when he said, I want to be like the Most High. I will ascend into heaven. God threw him out. But it may well be that his territory, his sphere of influence, was already then planet Earth, which God was making ready for a tremendous drama in which all kinds of issues were going to be settled and played out. And here he has the responsibility of being a priest, in effect taking all the worship, all the adoration of the beings, the angelic beings beneath him, and making sure that these items of praise and the works that they do go directly to God. He was like a mediator, making sure that everything on the planet contributed to the glory of God. Notice his privileged position. It says, you are on the mountain of God. Wherever you have the mountain in the Bible, you always have political influence. And he had that. You walked in the midst of the stones of fire. It says in verse 14, implying that he had immediate, direct access to God. What a place of great beauty and privilege. We don't know how long it was that Lucifer continued in this responsibility. Maybe it was for millions of years. We do not know. But to stop to think of the realization that at that period of time, the entire universe was a place of great harmony and unity. Because there was only one will in the universe, and that was the will and the purpose of God, and all of creation fell in line with God's intention, His glory, and His purpose. Not only was there harmony, but there was also a sense of fulfillment. You see, it's impossible to think that God would create angels without giving them assignments. They had assignments undoubtedly throughout the whole universe, and the entire universe was fulfilled because every individual angel was doing exactly the task that God had outlined. What a sense of beauty and harmony. Well, that's his creation. Secondly, I want to say a word about his fall. His fall. It says in verse 15, you were blameless in all your ways from the day in which you were created. And then follows one of the most puzzling, probing statements in all of the Bible. One that has vexed the minds of theologians throughout the centuries and taxes our imagination and our theological acumen. It says, until unrighteousness was found in you. Why would unrighteousness be found in a perfect being that did not have a sin nature? Here he was created with wisdom and beauty and obedience, an obedient nature. And then suddenly, and we can't explain it, it is as if it was spontaneous combustion. Suddenly, unrighteousness is found in God's perfect creation. We may not understand the whys and the hows, but we do have in the text here an indication as to how this happened. What was the cause of the unrighteousness? We know it was pride because Paul says in 1 Timothy 3, when you have a new convert in the church, do not elevate him to become an elder, because he may be lifted up with pride and fall into the condemnation of the devil. In Isaiah, we have a parallel passage, and it says 7 times that Lucifer said, I will ascend. I will ascend into heaven. I will be like the Most High. I will.
And my friend, this is Pastor Lutzer. A little drop of Lucifer's rebellion has fallen onto every human heart. As we shall see in this series of messages, it is so important for us to realize our own sinfulness. And as a result of that, what we need to do is to respond to God's love and God's grace. So don't be discouraged. The God who knows you loves you and cares.
Thank you, Dr. Lutzer. Tomorrow, Erwin Lutzer will further detail the devil's great error, which left him diametrically opposed to all that God stands for. This has been part 1 of Lucifer's greatest blunder, the second of 8 messages in our series, What is God Up To? We believe this current 8-part series will help you understand God's overall plan for the human race. What is God Up To can be yours on CD as our thank you when you give a gift of any amount to support Running to Win. For details, call 1-800-215-5001. That's 1-800-215-5001. On the internet, go to offerrtw.com. That's offerrtw, all one word, .com. Or write to Running to Win, Box 11174, Chicago, Illinois, 60611. This is Dave McAllister. Join us for tomorrow's edition of Running to Win.